Hello, LinkedIn. Me again. Thank you for joining us for today's late lunch show. So absolutely privileged to have Ryan Leslie with me today, and we'll go in and we'll talk about Ryan in a wee minute and his business and everything else. So two things, obviously. We don't have Amelia today, so Alana, Kelsey, one of my team, can you give us a thumbs up or a wee comment to see if you can hear us okay? Because Amelia's away doing Amelia stuff and making her some money making movies. So if you could just drop us a wee thing to see if you can hear me and Ryan. Okay, say hello, Ryan.
Hello.
Ryan. Hello, Ryan. So drop us that. We'll keep going right until somebody tells us they can't hear us. So as everybody knows that watches the show, we've got some thanks we need to do first. So thanks first of all to Andrew, Bold Man Go Media. Give yourself a pat in the back, Andrew. Amelia, wherever you are, if you're watching it, give yourself a pat in the back. And then our sponsors Grow. So today I've got another smoothie thing because I was having a breakfast meeting in Grow, so I'd already had 2 coffees, so I'm off the coffees. And just for them to know, Grow also does food, and I had the most amazing French toast and bacon, and it was awesome. So big shout out to Grow, and my cake is another one of the wee, I'll show you there, the wee cookie mountain things with a caramel on the top of it. Right, Ryan, what's your coffee and your cake?
I've got carrot cake, which I've had
plenty
of times from Grow.
Aye.
I'm a massive fan.
He's already started eating it.
And a cheeky wee flat white.
Aye, and it says, what just saying it? Yes, stop saying it.
I'm beautiful inside and out.
That's you are, right, not you. So, can anybody hear us? Can they hear us all right? Can you hear us all right, Andrew? Right, we'll take that as a yes. Yep. So today, one more thing I wanted to say. I can hear myself, right? So another thing, just before we get started, we've been kind of partnering up with Ayrshire Cancer Support. Look at that, get that dropped in. We've got the main coffee, Rocket Monkey Roastery. So Ayrshire, I don't know if you can see that. The Ayrshire Cancer Support thing, so they've now got their own blend of coffee that they're trying to promote. Nice. I think the likes of the RAD group and all these kind of people, since they're doing a coffee morning for them, so it's good to see Ayrshire businesses supporting Ayrshire charities. Mm-hmm. Right, so we're going to talk about an Ayrshire business. So I always talk about, they bring people on this show that I think could be beneficial to other businesses. So that, bringing you on, Ryan, was a kind of 2-prong approach for me. Is one, I think for any SME, hearing a bit about your journey, because obviously you're still a young guy, you've got a successful business now, and it'd be good to hear a wee bit about that story. But also I think what you do can help businesses, right? And then you can tell everybody about what your business is, what you do, the kind of stuff it is, and then I'll then come in and talk about the business side. What we are going to do, though, as I say, because I've already, as I said to you earlier, I've already been given about 5 or 6 questions for you. Yep. So we'll stop probably about 15, 20 minutes into it, and then let the questions come in, and then we'll carry on and we'll see how it goes. Cool. But Andrew, remember and stop me, though, because I did this the last time and I just kept yapping. Yeah. Right. So, Ryan, tell us a bit about you, your business, what it is you do, and then we'll go into a wee bit about the story.
Yeah, so I own FuelFit, which is a healthy meal prep delivery business situated in Ayrshire, and we are focusing on growing within Scotland at the moment. We do deliver all over the UK, direct to door, but one of the main focuses that we are looking at now is installing fridges in gyms, which we're already doing. We've seen really good success with that, but we're now looking to go into workplaces and eventually try and enter into NHS, where people need fresh, freshly cooked, high protein meals, and not your sort of, your ultra processed foods that are quite high at the moment.
Aye, and that's the thing. You get you can get microwave meals, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously, I'm just going to go on my own experience. I'm not going to slag anybody off, but most of them are just processed crap. Yeah. Right.
I think the biggest difference between what our product is and what you'll find in a supermarket that is a ready meal is the protein. Yeah. Our meals are much higher in protein. So yes, you might be able to buy a ready meal in a supermarket for a lower price, but that's because it's not got a lot of protein in it, which is the highest cost part of the meal. So, you know, we only use quality protein as well.
Yeah.
And that's another difference.
And they taste awesome.
And they taste awesome as well.
And I'm going to show. So Ryan's actually brought in a couple of kind of samples. So this is a great thing about being on this show. you get samples brought in. So there's a butter chicken curry with rice. Right. So I'll talk through. Oh, fuck, I can't see that. You'll need to talk through my glasses. Now, what's in it?
So in this we have butter chicken that consists of a marinade with yogurt and spices and ginger and garlic. It's marinated overnight. A lot of care and attention goes into it.
Love is in it.
Love. And then a butter curry sauce that, you know, we use coconut milk with, so that this meal is dairy free and also gluten free.
Is it? Brilliant. And what's the protein and all that kind of stuff? So talk about the what do you call it? The macros.
Yeah,
is that what,
macros.
Is that what it's called in the fitness world? The macros.
So this meal has 37 grams of protein in it.
Right.
So this is a fat loss portion, which, you know, we have fat loss or muscle gain. Fat loss is generally under 500 calories, around about 30 to 40 grams of protein, 35 to 40 grams of protein. And then the macros are balanced, you know, 40 grams of carbs and 5 to 10 grams of fat. We also have a barcode on here as well. One, so that we can make it easier to sell within a retail environment, but also so that people can scan and track the meal on MyFitnessPal or another similar app that you can track your macros, which is a big thing for people who are on, you know, fitness transformations or generally just wanting to keep on top of what they're putting in.
Because I used to use MyFitnessPal, and you're having to go and put bread in. So say you're making a sandwich, right? So you'd have to go and put the bread in, the cold meat in, the butter in, everything that you had in that sandwich. You'd have to put all that individually, and then that would be you. Yeah. Which is a bit of pain in the backside. Yeah. So you've now made that easier because you just scan that.
Yeah. So we upload that into MyFitnessPal so it's ready to go.
Yeah.
And you know, the whole premise of our business is healthy, convenient, easy, hassle-free nutrition, you know, that just makes it easier for people to eat. One of the things in Scotland is, well, in the UK probably, is that, you know, we give ourselves 2 big portions in the house.
Yes.
And we probably don't realise, you know, the whole, you know, make sure you finish that before you get your dessert. Well, in actual fact, we're eating too much. You know what I mean?
Is that how we're off at?
Pretty much. But it's a culture thing, do you know what I mean? It is a culture
thing.
My
granny's fault. Right? Gran, she's unfortunately not with us anyway, but it's your fault that we're all obese, right? Because you used to tell us to eat all our dinner. So,
you know, it's just a change of mindset. I think initially when people start, you know, eating that size of portion, maybe, you know, guys who are used to eating a big dinner, you know, they're thinking, that's a tiny wee portion for me. But that's what we should be eating. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to be completely honest. You see how, obviously, so this isn't my first rodeo with FuelFit. So I've actually been testing it out before Ryan got allowed on the show. And the meals are absolutely outstanding. And the likes of that mac and cheese. So what is it? It was Cajun mac and cheese with beef.
With a Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteak.
It's a lean 95 VL mince, so it's 5% fat. And that's our biggest seller at the moment.
And I had that, and I'll be honest, put it in the microwave and I went, that is never going to fill me up.
Yeah.
Right? And it filled me up.
Yeah.
And it tasted amazing. Just everything about it. And I was like, wow. And I had that for my dinner, right? So I had that for my dinner that night, and it was just amazing. As I say, the taste of it was fantastic, and it was really, really filling. And I didn't need any more. And I would probably have put double that on my plate.
Yeah.
So I think it just goes to show when you're eating the right type of things and the right amount of that type of thing, you can be feeling full.
Yeah. I think it's, you know, it's simple. It's like calories in versus calorie out. If you're eating less calories than you're burning, you know, you're going to, if you're eating less calories than you're burning, you're going to lose weight.
Yes.
You know, if you eat more than you're burning, you're going to put on weight. And it's it's pretty much as simple as that.
Aye. And I don't. It's also the fact that it's the right type of calories as well.
Aye.
Right, because you can eat like hundreds of saturated fats and all that kind of stuff. So you might not be around hundreds of calories, but your saturated fat levels through the roof because you're just eating fry-ups and crap like that, right? Which aren't good for you. But that to me, and this was because I did have my specs on when I was looking at the other one, and I was quite impressed. I was like, that's actually, because when I used to do a lot of fitness, I knew about my macros and all that kind of stuff. I used to kind of monitor all that quite closely. And when I was looking at the kind of the balance that was in the meals, I thought that's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And to be able to get it to taste as good as it is.
Well, that's the hardest bit of that balance is taste.
Aye.
And, hitting the right numbers with the balanced macros, that's what does become a bit of a challenge because, at the end of the day, it needs to, people don't want to be eating rabbit food.
Aye,
do you know what I mean? They want to be eating something that they want to eat again or look forward to eating. So, we need to be quite clever with how we do that.
Aye. How many different kind of varieties do you do?
So at the moment, we've probably got a base menu of about 50 dishes, main meals.
All right.
And then what we do is we rotate them, on a weekly basis. So at any one time, there'll be 15 dishes on the menu.
Right.
Right now, we don't have any vegan options or, we're quite low in sort of fish options as well. But a new menu that we're going to be bringing in for kind of autumn, winter is going to basically have a fish and vegan option for each meal. So, it might be like a chicken korma, but then there'll be a prawn korma and a tofu korma as well. So we're going to try and, now that we're at a bigger size, that becomes more viable. When you're smaller, you can't really make, one wee portion of something.
That might no sell.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're still trying to run a business, right? And you're having to try and kind of go with the bigger audience.
Yes.
Right? And it's obviously for your vegans and your fish lovers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's more people eat chicken and beef.
Yeah, and that's it. I think, plant-based is definitely much bigger than it used to be.
100%.
And we're probably just we'll be calling it plant-based because, I think vegan, sometimes people don't want to eat a vegan dish. But in actual fact, it's just plant-based. There's nothing, it's not making
not really much different.
Aye.
Right, so obviously your business is, because when did you start it originally? Because it was originally Jimmy's Kitchen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So how long's it been going?
So in total, my total business journey has probably been about 10 years.
Yeah.
But, came from my mum and dad were in the hospitality industry. Me, myself and my sister have been brought up in the hospitality industry and probably didn't think that that's what I would end up doing, but it just ended up happening, to be honest.
And obviously, because I've obviously known you through the rebranding, through seeing you kind of start again and various different things. And it's one of the things that I always say is your journey as an entrepreneur, it's never a straight line.
No.
Right? And you've obviously been different bits in different ways, but I think you've now, what I was talking to somebody is, I think you've now found your secret sauce or your niche.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been the first time in 10 years that I've only been doing one thing.
Aye.
So, when I first started my first business with my dad, he came up with an idea for colour-coded food storage system within commercial kitchens. So that's when my entrepreneurial journey started.
Yeah.
Because he had, he's got his own business, a restaurant and hotel that is successful. So he didn't have the time to focus and run with this new venture. And to be honest, we probably made mistakes. We made mistakes and, learnt from them. So it's at that point I joined Entrepreneurial Spark, which was the sort of business accelerator based out of Sir Tom Hunter's building in the Donald. And that was like 2015. So, business was a good idea. It was quite an innovative idea, potentially a wee bit too niche. Probably we're quite early with making decisions. Could have done a wee bit more to find the right sort of product to go to the market with. But we, if going back now, if I had that business now and know what I know now, we probably could have made it work a bit better. But you know, during my time at Entrepreneurial Spark, I then came up with the idea of doing a meal prep business, just purely because I seen someone else doing it and I thought that I could do it better.
Right.
Not out of any arrogance or anything like that, just purely that I thought there could have been a bigger brand being built around it, and you know, more of a lifestyle brand.
Aye.
So, you know, it's quite easy to start a meal prep company because all you need is a kitchen and tubs. You know, so I could start testing that out from my own kitchen in the house, and you know, in the gym that I was in at that point, or the gym I was training in, I was probably quite into the gym at that point, and I started testing it out with people in the gym, just getting feedback. So essentially, it was like a wee MVP. You know, testing that out. Is it something that people want? So you know, I learned that obviously through Entrepreneurial Spark to start lean. And that's kind of how I first started that. So long story short, you know, we tested that out, had a Facebook page, grew very quickly. I was still doing the other business at that point. And someone basically said to me, Ryan, there's this cafe becoming available in the building in Dundonald, the cafeteria. And I needed a commercial kitchen to really, you know, start to increase the volume. So it just came right at the right time. And the deal was, you know, if you look after everyone in the office and the cafeteria with a cafe sort of setup, then you can use the kitchen for your other side of the business. So, you know, that went well. We grew pretty quickly. And then we got to a point where we were basically outgrowing that kitchen. So we had to then, you know, look at another premises, and it's purely just because there was no more space in the fridge to fit any more meals. So we moved to a new premises, and at that point I thought, let's start a takeaway, because it was during lockdown and takeaways were going crazy, and I thought we need to, you know, we're get bigger costs. I need to maximise the what we're getting out of this unit. You know, if we're not working on the meal prep during the weekend, let's start a dark kitchen takeaway. It was only supposed to be, you know, a weekend affair, but it then just grew arms and legs, because again, it really started to go, you know, we're doing sort of food that I suppose no one else in the area was really doing. Nothing special, but it was just a wee bit different. And it was, you know, we really smashed it with the social media as well. But essentially, I had shiny object syndrome, and I was just, you know, doing this and that. And, you know, if I had just stayed in my own lane, you know, and just stuck to what we'd done, things maybe would do a bit different. But, you know, it was a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. At that point, I think we had 25 team members. You know, we started to do a dine at home thing, because during lockdown as well, that just exploded. Folk were doing restaurant at home and stuff like that. So yeah, I've just been learning by doing. Do you know what I mean? It's not like before I started my business, I was a manager of a business, or, you know, I was a part of, you know, scaling a business within another business. So, you know, I've just been learning by doing, just been teaching myself a lot of it. Obviously, I've had a lot of support from my parents, because they're in the hospitality industry, and, you know, I can ask them about certain things, but there's certain things that they don't know the answer to. Do you know what I mean? And obviously being a part of Business Accelerator programs has helped. And then, you know, just the community of people that I've met along the way as well, that you can, you know, vent to and ask questions. And
having that peer-to-peer kind of team run about you, community run about you, makes a huge difference. I mean, you just sit and go out and talk to somebody and go, oh, I've had that. This is what I've done. You might not always do it, but at least you get some insights.
But we got to a point where just nothing was really growing, you know, nothing was really going forward. I was trying to do this big project with like a kind of bespoke web build, which probably in hindsight, I probably didn't realise how big a beast we were trying to build. And we did not have the funds to be able to actually build what we wanted. So I made big decisions, just scrapped everything. We'd already rebranded to FuelFit, and basically just went all in on FuelFit, because we started to get good traction quite quickly. And I think over that period of time, I really probably didn't probably took my focus off of the things I should have been focusing on, like the quality of the product, which obviously you think is the most important part anyway. But when you're trying to grow the business, you know, you're focusing on sales, you're focusing on marketing. But in actual fact, you know, I probably just didn't have the right bums in the right seats to be looking after the quality of the product. So over the past 2 or 3 years, we've really been focusing on that. And we've got a very, very consistent quality product now. A lot to do with the systems and machinery that we use. You know, everything's programmed, so chicken breast will be cooked at the exact temperature, the exact same way every single week, and it's all programmed within our ovens and equipment that we use. So, you know, we pay very particular attention to that. And we're constantly making wee tweaks, you know, here and there every week. We're constantly speaking about how can we make this better. And, you know, if something's not working, we just scrap it.
Aye, quickly.
Yeah. So since then, you know, we've been doubling every year, basically. 12 months ago, we were doing 700 meals a week, and now we're doing 3,000 meals a week. So,
brilliant.
You know, everything's going in the right direction. And as I said, I'm only doing this one thing, and that's probably been the biggest change and the biggest...
Because you've been able to actually focus.
Yeah.
Focus and do one thing very, very well rather than doing 3 or 4 things all right.
Aye. Exactly that.
No, brilliant. And the success, because we're going to go into the questions after this bit, but the success of that, do you think has been a big part of getting them in gyms?
Yes. Yeah. Probably, we done it before, but the brand wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, but the Jimmy's Kitchen brand.
And that's probably what I really... I kind of realised that myself. I kind of fell out of love with it. I just kind of knew that we had to change it. It wasn't hitting with people.
Aye.
And we wanted to be able to sponsor athletes and, you know, basically have a brand that people could wear as well. Yeah. Because, you know, sponsorship, that's a big part of it.
Well, I'm probably going to do the park run in 3 weeks, right? No, get your sponsor on it.
So, you know, the fridges look aesthetically, they look great. I think they look, you know, gyms want them in their gyms. I think you know, we elevate their brand, they elevate our brand. You know, it's a two-way street, and you know, we both make a bit of money out of it as well. So, you know,
and probably more important than that is the people that are in the gym, right, are getting a ready-made, whatever you want to call it, healthy, nutritious meal that they can go, because everybody's got a busy life, right? And especially see when you're those people that you're in the gym and you're pumping iron and all that kind of stuff, and you've got the people who are taking it really seriously. They're doing their own meal prep,
right?
Basically, but then you've got your people like me, right? Who I was going to the gym. I used to go to the gym like 4 or 5 times a week, say. So I go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. But what was having to happen is something has to give for me to do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time it's your dinner and all that kind of stuff. So see, when I was going to the gym regularly, that's perfect for me. So I'm like, brilliant. I'll pick up one of them. I'll head home, fling it in the microwave. At least I know. So all the stuff that I've just done in a workout isn't wasted because I picked up a Chinese, I picked up something like that crappy on the way home. And then you can actually balance it and you can look at it and you're getting 40 grams of protein into you after you've just done a gym session. It's perfect. That's what your body needs. And they can the people in the gyms can take that home and they know that. They're like, right, I know that all these macros are going back into my body, blah, blah, blah. And the must be, I know obviously for your gym, obviously all the folk that are buying them are loving it.
Aye. I mean, the biggest game changer was probably when we got into Performance Gym in Irvine. We'd already had a relationship with them, but it just blew up.
Aye.
You know, it just blew up, and we took on a lot of feedback. Well, to be honest, when it first started, we were only doing about 50 meals a week. It wasn't much, but we got loads of feedback about the packaging, how they didn't like certain things about how you had to open it, and the label was covering too much of the meals, so you couldn't see inside it. So, you know, the difference between buying online off our website is, you know, you're seeing the picture of the food on a plate. So that's how you're buying it. You're buying it from seeing that image. But buying it in a retail, you know, in-person point of view, you know, you need to be able to... It's like if you're in the supermarket, you're going to look at what you're going to buy.
100%.
So that was something that we learned from made the changes, and then from then on, we went from about 50 meals a week. They've sold as much as 600 meals a week.
Have they?
Right. So, again, at one point we started making protein bars and stuff for them, and they were going really well. But again, it was just kind of taking us away from our main focus. So we just stopped it because it was becoming unscalable, and it was becoming, it was just too hard to make.
And again, it's pulling you away from what your
bread and butter is.
Your bread and butter and we would call it your core business.
Yeah.
Right. No, fantastic. Right. So, is there any questions, Andrew? Because I want to be kind of mindful that we end up blabbering away.
So, Alana from Mafia,
right?
A challenge to make and sell healthy meals at affordable price.
So I'll just reiterate that because I don't know if the folk can hear you, Andrew. So there's is it a challenge to make healthy meals at a affordable price?
Yeah, it is becoming more of a challenge just now because we've probably seen a 20% increase in chicken alone within 4 months, and that increase just went up straight away. And that's across beef. It's everything's just going up. So we're constantly trying to look and see, because we want to try and keep the price point where it is.
Yeah.
Because the main thing that we want is to be a quality product that's convenient, affordable, because it's a lifestyle that we're trying to sell. It's not. This isn't a one-off product that you buy and it's going to make you lose 1 stone in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's a lifestyle, and over time, I do believe that if you live by yourself, or maybe you're only a couple, this will be more affordable than trying to
shop.
And you have a lot of wastage in the house as well, so this reduces that as well. But we're looking at different systems to make us more efficient. We're looking at efficiencies within the kitchen.
Yeah.
Investing in better machinery, to try and just cut down on time and the time it takes to make it.
So the additional cost base that you've got, you're going to try and take that out in time.
Yeah.
Rather than having to pass it on to
packaging, other places. We might need to do a slight price increase. But we do need to try and keep it where it's at.
See, because we see it all the time in the world that we work in. When you're looking at construction, we're looking at the spares that we buy for people and all this kind of stuff, and everything's going up.
Yeah, and
you don't think about it. I mean, if you're looking at even a 20% increase in your cost on that turns into, say, £1 of difference in your selling price. And they're not cheap, right? We're not going to pretend they're cheap, but they're good, right? So you can go to Morrison's or somewhere like that, you buy a ready meal for £3, but they're just processed crap, right? They're processed crap, and all that happens is after you eat them, a lot of the time is you're still hungry and you just need to drink Connors. right? Because the amount of salt and stuff like that's in them. So that's not the market that you're aiming for anyway.
No.
So if people are just wanting cheap meals, like a cheap thing, you can go and get that. But if you're wanting to have a quality meal that you feel full and you're putting the right types of nutrients into your body, then you can't get that for £3.
No. And I think if you were to try and, say you were to hit 120 grams of protein in a day, if you were to go and do that by buying meals out the supermarket, you're going to maybe need to buy 5 or 6 meals.
Yeah.
Whereas it's 3.
Right.
So, I think people's mindset around that is, as you say, though, at the end of the day, the type of people potentially are not going to be our customers anyway.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Because the other thing is we're delivering it to your house and you get to choose exactly what you want from 15 dishes. So there's always a lot of choice, and that rotates every week as well. So, there's that part of it as well.
Brilliant. Right, any more questions, Andrew?
Jackie, as an underweight pensioner.
That's my mom. Underweight pensioner.
Do you make meals which can help you put on weight and help with muscle mass?
Yeah. So, if everyone heard that question.
So the question was actually from my mum, as being an underweight pensioner. Do you make meals that can help with actually help basically build increase your weight and build muscle mass? Yeah,
so we've got a fat loss option, which is the meal that we were speaking about. And then we've got our muscle gain size as well, which generally speaking, the fat loss is under 500 calories, around 35 to 40 grams of protein, whereas the muscle gain meal will be over 700 calories and more like 50 to 60 grams of protein.
That Korean noodle thing that I got, that was a muscle gain one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, how good was that?
So, and that is something, as we get older, we need to be making sure that we're eating protein.
Aye.
It's probably one of the most important things as we get older, that we need to make sure that we're getting into our body. So we definitely have that option.
So, Mum, if you're watching this, Ryan will give you a meal, right, and then you need to do 100 press-ups. Get muscle mass, no bother. Sitting there, she's trying to get up off the couch. Underweight pensioner. Any more, Andrew?
Do you cater for food allergies, i.e. dairy-free?
Yeah, so on our website, you can filter by allergens.
All right.
So, if you've got a gluten intolerance, or you're gluten-free, or you're celiac, you're dairy-free, etc., then, you can filter that out. We are trying to relook at all our recipes so that if it can be possible, we'll make it gluten-free, or we'll make it dairy-free, like butter chicken. Traditionally, it's got butter and cream in it.
Aye.
So we will change that recipe to have coconut milk or something instead. And then the likes of, it's crazy, like some things like soy sauce has got gluten in it.
Right.
And that's quite or wheat. So that's quite a common ingredient in a lot of the dishes that, as a healthy meal prep brand, you would look to be making. So, we use things like gluten-free soy sauce, basically.
Question for you right before we go to the next one. So and here's could be a wee tip for you. See your labels. See if it's gluten-free or dairy-free or anything like that. Do they have a different colour of label?
No, so what we will be doing, so that labelling that you see just now is we've kind of taken 2 steps back to go 4 steps forward.
Right, okay.
So that's quite a basic label we've got at the moment. But because we want to do more retail and stuff like that, then we're going to have, there's certain laws that certain things you need to have in your labelling.
For the full traceability and blah, 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 the kind of standards.
The percentage of chicken that's in the meal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's coming next week, actually. But what we're able to do is potentially, as you say, highlight that it's gluten-free.
Aye.
So that's something that we can do. Good feedback that we'll take on board.
Because obviously, I know where these questions are going is my work, all the people in my work are wanting to get a fridge in there. Because that's where I've read the questions that were sent to me beforehand and I can see it coming. But we've got a dairy-free and we've got a gluten-free person.
Right.
So if they were going into the fridge, for example, and they could say, right, okay, I know that I can have all the ones with a yellow label.
Yeah.
Gluten-free. And I know I can have all the ones with a green label because they are dairy-free. So.
Yeah. Well, the difference in colours of what we're going to be doing is fat loss, muscle gain. So fat loss is going to be blue, muscle gain is going to be red.
Right.
But we can definitely have a wee highlight, a wee tag.
Something somewhere just to make it easier rather than somebody having to either scan it or look through the...
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That is a good point. And see, the thing is as well, what we've learned, we keep on learning, is everything just needs to be so easy 100%. And convenient. Like, the gyms that work really well are the ones that have a reception where the transaction can be made.
Yes.
And the reception's manned all the time.
Yeah.
So the larger gyms where that's more viable, that's where it's working really well.
Yeah.
But the smaller gyms who maybe don't have a full-time receptionist or anything, there's no one there to take that transaction. So that is something we're seeing an issue with. And it's probably, that's why we're looking at this new technology.
Right. And you're going to win the Scottish Edge, it's going to give you all the money, and it's going to happen, and then lo and behold, this world is your oyster.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody, Ryan's we're through the semi-final, haven't you?
Semi-final stages of Scottish Edge.
Right. So if any Scottish Edge judges are watching this, we've had Evelyn on the show.
Right.
So if anybody from Scottish Edge is watching this, Ryan's told me what he's looking to try and use that money for, and I think it would be well worth winning.
Yeah.
So there you go. Plugged in that as well. Right, sorry, any more questions, Andrew? Because I had about 4 or 5 that get sent to me beforehand.
You only local to Ayrshire, is it available all over?
So anything within Ayrshire, we deliver it ourselves. Anything out with Ayrshire, out with kind of Glasgow and Ayrshire, we use DPD or Royal Mail.
Right.
So we deliver UK wide from London to Aberdeen, anywhere that can be delivered next day, which is pretty much the whole of the UK. We deliver.
Brilliant. Any more, Andrew?
That's it.
That's same. So, well, I did have one message, and it's from my dad. He's starving. Can you get him one round the new? So, no, the answer's no. Maybe bring you a butter chicken. One of the things that I think is a great opportunity, and this is, obviously, I know I've got some of my team watching this, so there might be a few others, is like we've got an office, right? We sit in an office, and any time there could be anywhere between 3 and 13 folk in the office. We have to get out of the office, get in our car, drive to either Morrison's, Greg's, KFC, or some other place that you're usually buying something that's pretty crap.
Yeah.
Right. So I think there's an opportunity that having a fridge with a bunch of meals in an office, I think could be very beneficial. And there's a thing for my team. See if there was an office, if we had a fridge in the office with Ryan's meals in it, would you guys buy them? Right, so we'll see how long it takes me to put a comment in there. But I think there's a major opportunity for that. So I've worked in offices, as I say, like small as mine just now, but as large as you've got, well, from one of my offices with over 100 in it, right?
Yeah.
But in that 100, we still didn't have a canteen, like a proper cafeteria, right? So we had people that were walking to Aldi's and walking to these places and, and it's good to go to the office, but there's a lot of times where you're going, I've not got time for that.
Yeah.
Right? I just want to grab something quick and you're going, I need to get in the car, I need to do blah, blah, blah. Right? So I almost guarantee, what's she saying? Someone's question. Blah, blah. So must be another question because I've just got a message through saying you missed my question. So, but I guarantee that our people would go, you know what, I'll go and take one of them. That's what I'll have for my lunch. And they know that it's good for them. They know that it's convenient and they can track it as well.
Yeah.
And they can then just go, take that out, stick it in the microwave. There you go, that's them. Have their lunch. If they want to go out, they're just now going out time to go for a walk and a bit of well-being rather than rushing out to a shop to then come back and then try and get everything all done within their lunch break. Yeah.
So, at our work, we now provide, it'd be a bit rubbish if we made all these meals and the team couldn't eat them.
Yeah.
So, we provide that, the team can have a meal on their break just on us, basically. Mm-hmm. And we do see a big uptake on that because they know that they're getting something substantial, and in our case they're getting it for nothing, but that's just a part of their.
Oh, can see you got about it. I'll let you on my show.
But that is a focus that we want to be doing now. Is that's a channel that we want to be targeting as workplaces, because health and well-being now is more prevalent than ever.
Massive.
Younger people aren't drinking as much as they used to. Pubs and clubs are shutting down because folk are just more health conscious than ever before.
Yep.
And if it's affordable, I think maybe in some cases that it might be subsidised, and it might be something.
That's what I'm talking about.
It might be something that an organisation might see as value, to their business. So we've got some people interested, but essentially what we're looking to install is, we've not got the right terminology yet.
Don't give away all your secrets because
not all of it.
Watch this.
But it's like a kind of power break station sort of thing, like a station where you can go and get refueled on your break, and that your team are putting the right things in their body, basically. So it basically like a wee station with a microwave and maybe a coffee machine or something installed as well. And we are looking for people that would like to pilot that as well.
Us?
Yeah.
No, I've already spoke. So I spoke to Kelsey and I've spoke to a couple of the team, and I said, watch this show today. I says because it's something I'm thinking about, and let me know your thoughts. Anybody comments? There was another comment there.
It's not came through.
Has it not? Wait there to see what it is. See what Alana's saying. I need to start wearing my specs for this show. Kelsey's question has been missed. So Kelsey, what were you asking? Because she'll still be there. Right, so for some reason Kelsey's hasn't come through. But for what I'm wanting to do is I'm basically we'll just get a fridge, right? Say we'll get 10 meals. and then the people just go and buy their meals. We'll subsidise it a wee bit, because especially for some of the younger people, it's maybe a wee bit much.
Yeah.
You know, they would rather go and buy a pot noodle now because they're at that age. But for us, I would much rather they put one of your meals into them than going and buying a pot noodle and 3 packs of crisps for the shop.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident that most of our team will take them. We'll subsidise it a wee bit and we'll work out the best way of doing it. But I think for businesses, because we'll take my whole building. Right?
Yeah.
So in that whole building, you've maybe got 50, 60 people. 50, 60 people that are in that building at any one time.
Yeah.
Right. Most of them, some of them probably bring in their own, but most of them are going out to these shops to buy stuff. So it might be that rather, once you get your new technology and all that working, then it's just sitting down there at the stairs.
That is something that we spoke to a way back. You know, the guy that runs your course base and whatnot. He, it's something that we've suggested, but we didn't have this technology that we're looking at that point. So, I think it is definitely a viable solution. Obviously, the volume needs to be there for it to work for everyone. Yeah. But it's definitely the future. Like, it's coming, and no one's doing it. Yeah. And we're going to be the first.
Good. And we're going to actually make it work, and it'll work for you, but it'll work for all these businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it. It's basically, if you think about your workforce as your family, you'd much rather know that your family's putting half decent food down their neck than absolute crap. Yeah. Right. So, and it's much better for the overall health of them, the well-being, everything else that goes with it. And food's right at the beginning of that. Right, I've got Kelsey's questions here, right? She's got 3 for you. Right. Can your money's worth a day, Kelsey? So what made you get started in the meal prep business?
So yeah, basically I was a chef. I was working, well, from when I left school. I started washing dishes, when I was 15. And as I said, being brought up in the hospitality industry, so I've got a huge love for food. I love food. I love eating it, I love making it, and I love making it for other people as well. So it was quite, I think it was just a business that I could start with there's a low barrier to entry. Didn't really need much money. I was very lucky and fortunate how it worked out for me, in terms of that kitchen becoming available, and, Sir Tom Hunter being very supportive as well. To be honest, realistically, that is another point. If it wasn't for him, then we wouldn't have had that initial start. So,
good. Then second question is, what was your biggest challenge when you started out?
Learning to manage people. I think I'm still learning. I've got, I can call my mum, she's managed 300 people at one point. So, I do get a lot of advice when it comes to people management from her. My dad has got a different way of doing things to my mum. So he's managed a lot of people as well in his time.
But it's a different management style.
Aye. But yeah, managing people was probably and cash flow and people. Aye. Probably 2 of the most important parts in business.
100%. Right, last one. No, by the way, if you need any advice on managing people, when you drop my mum's meals off to, you can ask her. She only really had to manage me and my sister, but there's been the equivalent of about 200. How do you decide what meals make it onto your menu?
So
this is like a proper talk show host today.
So over the period, we probably got a wee bit lost at one point, that we were trying to copy or take inspiration from what was happening down south, because there's a lot bigger meal prep companies down there. It's huge in London. But we probably, I got distracted trying to look and compete with them, and not focus on Scotland. But we've decided that actually we are focusing on Scotland now, and we want to be the number 1 in Scotland. And then, we're still going to be sending all over the UK, but we want to be facilitating the palates of Scotland, because it's different from the 100%. UK. Our biggest seller is mac and cheese. Aye. I was at a thing where the head buyer of Aldi was presenting at it, and he said that their top seller in Scottish Aldi stores is mac and cheese.
Aye.
So we're obviously a nation that loves mac and cheese. So we've been giving people what they want. A lot of that is just from my experience and kind of intuition of what I think is what people want. But it changes with the seasons. And going forward now, what we're going to actually do is basically come up with ideas, put that onto a questionnaire, ask the customers, here's dishes that we're thinking about putting on the menu, what would you like?
Aye.
And then we're going to do it like that from now on. And then obviously we'll get suggestions as well. So we need to give the customers what they want, because we're
100%.
doing it. It's not for us, it's for them.
100%. And this is where there isn't enough companies out there that are actually driven by the customer.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, they're the people that pays everybody's wages. They're the people that buys things.
Yeah.
Go and listen to them. We had a similar thing, it's obviously internally in our business, where we were giving feedback to a supplier and they just weren't listening.
Yeah.
They weren't listening to that. Do you know what? Guess what? Cheerio.
Aye.
Right? I'm the one that's buying your product. If you're not listening to the feedback that we're giving you, we're going to stop buying it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And we have had experiences with that as well. But again, that's probably just where I've not been strict with my time and what I'm doing. But when you're growing the team, you know, if you need... I was still in the kitchen. You know, we've only just employed a head chef. So, you know, we've been growing with a very lean team.
Yeah.
And that means that my time... You know, I've not had the time probably where I could spend it most. So.
Right. So, last question that I've got is folk are asking if they can get a discount code.
So we've created a wee special discount code for today. So it's late lunch.
Right.
Just all one word, late lunch, and you'll get 30% off your first order.
Right, and Ryan and I actually discussed this. So say like so for us a business, so say we're going to go and buy 10 meals, right, for our team. We'll get that 30% off of that first order of 10 meals, won't we? So if there's a business out there that thinks this is a good idea, but we're talking about for their business, and you want to say, right, I've got 50 staff, and what I want to do is I want to buy 40 meals, right, for us to get started, and put this in as part of your business, they'll get 30% off of that.
Yeah.
So
anyone can use it.
Right. So you'll be able to use that as a one-time discount code. You get 30% off. So is it all capitals, all small? Does it matter?
It doesn't. I don't think it really matters, but all capitals if anything. But right, I don't think it is.
Late lunch.
Yeah, late lunch.
Late lunch. So anybody that's interested and likes the sound of what Ryan's doing, and I can obviously vouch for how good the meals are.
So can I.
So can he. Right. And they're very, very good. So if you want it, go on to, so what's the best way? Just go on to your website.
FuelFit.co.uk. Click start order. We'll take you through to the website. Pick your meals. Put the code in. That's you.
So my recommendation is just buy one of everything, right? So just buy one of them all, then you can see. Like, and by the way, actually, I forgot to show that you do. So you do oats and that.
So we do overnight oats, protein cheesecakes. With protein pancakes, we've just reinvented that recipe because
protein cheesecakes.
Yeah,
protein pancakes.
So I mean, they're pretty popular, to be honest. I think if people know they're getting protein in whilst they're eating something that they, you know, it's a wee treat snack, then.
Well, most people that understand that they're trying to manage their diet.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be people out there that go, I don't really care about protein. I eat pizza. Right? so they're not your audience.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great opportunity. So obviously we will be looking at doing it. At the very least, we'll try it and see how it works.
Yeah.
Right. See how it works. See if the people in the team are interested, buy them, like them, all that kind of stuff, and then see where it goes. But I think, as I say, I've worked in a lot of offices and places like this, right? And if you've got your own canteen, so like a Marathon House, for example, that's fine. You've got a place to go, right? Even at that, it still might work. But see places that don't have a canteen, I think it could be
it's a saving as well. It's a saving as well. Like, you know, to run a canteen, you're paying wages, you're paying gas, you're paying electricity, you're paying the food cost. You know, it probably in a lot of cases isn't viable, and it costs the business money.
Yeah.
We would be a cost, but a much lower cost.
Yeah. And the people can just get a choice of what they want.
Yeah.
No, I think there's definitely something there for businesses. They get the benefit of their staff. Hopefully, they not having to rush about to try and get stuff. They've got the convenience of it. They're getting good food, and it's healthy for them. So, what's not like?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's us. We've only went 20 minutes over.
20 minutes over.
Right, so that's 50 minutes we've been on.
Oh,
Didn't feel like it, didn't it?
Nah, I went by in a flash.
Told you it would. So is there anything else you want to say to the audience while we're here?
No, follow us on social media, have a wee look at our website, get in touch with us if there's any questions, any feedback, if there's existing customers that have listened to this today that maybe think, I want to give you feedback on certain things. We take on feedback, and that's, it can only help us grow.
Definitely. And what we'll do is we'll get either Andrew or I or somebody will put that late lunch just in the comments so as people can see it as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Then just share it. Right. Thanks very much, Ryan. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.